we do a calendar every year? In 2014, we created a calendar to commemorate our 25 years of service. The theme for that year's calendar was A Year at Scarborough Retirement Residence. Residents were featured for a holiday or season in each month. The calendar was such a success, we created another one for 2015, and we called it Storytellers, through the hands and the eyes of our residents. The 2016 calendar's theme is A Year at the Movies. The Life Enrichment Committee selected from early movie classics, and residents volunteered to model for each month. We held a casting call for residents to volunteer, and then we began to match the resident models to the movie theme. It was so wonderful to see the residents dress up and play the characters that they were modeling for each movie. Our goal at Scarborough Retirement Residence is to create a culture rooted in joy. This is essential to a healthy quality of life. The project brings the residents all together with a focus on a community project. The project fosters camaraderie, and it is a memory-making experience for residents and staff. Every Christmas Eve, the night staff hang a stocking filled with assorted gifts and that year's calendar, and it's hung on every resident's suite door. We also sell the calendars in the tuck shop, and they sell quite well. The Life Enrichment Manager will feature all of the special holidays and events that will be planned throughout that year.
Fiddler on the Roof resonates with and crosses all cultures because of the values of tradition and the importance of family that is evoked in this story. Director Norman Jewison adapted the Broadway play for screen that won 8 Academy Awards from the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences in 1971. It's a story of a man and his God and his problems with his 5 daughters.
Traditions, traditions. Without our traditions, our lives would be as shaky as a fiddler on the roof.
The cover of the 2016 SRR calendar features Fred LaFontaine as the family matriarch Tevye in The Fiddler on the Roof. Fred LaFontaine is the founder of Community Life Care and Scarborough Retirement Residence. He is 92 years young and has always chosen to be featured on the calendar cover. We chose Fiddler on the Roof because it is one of his favorite movies. The Wizard of Oz was the perfect choice for the ensemble piece of the management team. Notable for its use of Technicolor, fantasy storytelling, and musical score, over the years it has become an icon of pop culture. The Wizard of Oz is a 1939 American musical produced by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and it went on to win 7 Academy Awards. It's a magical film and was lots of fun preparing for. We were the last group to be photographed, and everyone laughed all day. After we wrapped up the photo shoot, we paraded in the dining room during the dinner meals so that the residents could experience how much fun we were having. After sitting in makeup and running around with props and doing this and doing that and having costumes that didn't quite fit, we had an amazing time, and we wanted to share that with our residents. As a life enrichment manager, it was important for me to do this and have the residents involved as well, because you know what? Growing old doesn't mean you can't have fun, and we wanted to make sure that we were all having fun, including the residents.
Well, they told me I was chosen to be the month of April, and it was going to be Easter parade, and I thought that was, oh, that's wonderful. I always love hats and Easter parade. So I thought, oh gee, I thought that may be fun. So I did sign up for that. And makeup and get your hair and dress you up, and I thought it was great fun. We had Jim, he was supposed to be Fred Astaire, and I was, what is it, Ann Miller, I think you said. But we didn't dance. But the amazing part of it, I think modeling is quite hard, you know? When you say to make certain expression, all of a sudden they say, oh, how do you do that? You know, now I can understand how actors and actresses get into the movie.
Oh, felt pretty good about it. I volunteered. I didn't think it was going to be that hard. I enjoyed it very much. The uniform was a little bit tight and a little bit heavy, but outside of that, it was great.
Well, Maureen spoke to me and things. And then, to quite frankly with you, I don't know who, somebody else called me for the exact date and then left me a note at the desk. I don't think they did. Get me into too much trouble. I love it here, I really do. It's the best decision I ever made.
Well, I guess I was surprised when Maureen came and asked around, and she said, would you just get involved in the calendar? She said, well, it's easy. You could be Santa Claus. And I had a longer beard at that time, so I think I was a natural. Yeah, it was a good experience, something new I never done in my life. The makeup, I heard about makeup artists around me, friends whose daughters went in the makeup business. And I thought, well, wonder how it feels to get it myself, to cover my face a little bit. Anyway, I find it very impressive the way they went about it. When I looked in the mirror, I thought, this is different, Well, I think it's a nice thing to be part of.
Heaven, I'm in heaven.
For our 2016 calendar, we wanted to start the new year with a fun, lively movie that would evoke the spirit of New Year's Eve. Top Hat was the residents' top choice. The film is a musical comedy starring the debonair Fred Astaire and coy Ginger Rogers. Produced in 1935, Top Hat was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture, Art Direction, Best Song, and Dance Direction. Resident Jerry Junkin elegantly portrayed the part of Fred Astaire, while Audrey Taylor fit right into the character originally portrayed by Ginger Rogers. It was as though they had been dancing partners for years.
Oh, I love to climb a mountain and to reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as dancing cheek to cheek.
Enchanted evening.
For the romantic month of February, the Life Enrichment Committee chose South Pacific, a romantic musical based on James A. Michener's 1947 book, Tales of the South Pacific. Originally a Broadway show, it was released on film in 1958. Rodgers and Hammerstein wrote the iconic music. Portraying the part of Mitzi Gaynor is Madeline Lunny, and the part of Rossano Brazzi is her husband and soulmate of 65 years, Donald Lunny. You could see the love they had for each other. It was great to watch them in front of the camera.
You may hear her laughing across a crowded room.
Never saw you dress quite so handsome, what's more.
While the month of March brings the promise of spring, with its showers, flowers, and thoughts of Easter, we chose to feature the movie Easter Parade.
Easter morning, and my heart beat fast.
Easter Parade is a 1948 musical film starring Judy Garland, Fred Astaire, and Peter Lawford.
In your Easter bonnet, with all the frills.
In our reproduction, Maisie Bunn stepped into the dancing shoes of Judy Garland's character, and Jim Burnett tapped his way into the character originally portrayed by Fred Astaire. We had to admit, they really did look the part.
And when they look us over, we'll be the proudest couple in the Easter parade.
The Phantom of the Opera was a film we wanted to adapt into the calendar because of its dramatic costume against the haunting backdrop of the opera house. The Phantom of the Opera is a 2004 British film adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's 1986 musical of the same name. The movie version was nominated for a number of Academy Awards, including Art Direction, Cinematography, and Best Original Score. John Brininger, who really captured the spirit of the Phantom, is reprising the part of the Phantom originally played by Gerard Butler. After we completed the photo shoot, we could still feel the haunting chill in our opera house.
Inside your mind.
Cleopatra is an epic historical drama film chronicling the struggles of Cleopatra VII. The young queen of Egypt resisted the imperial ambitions of Rome. In 1963, Cleopatra won 4 Academy Awards and was nominated for 5 more, including Best Picture. Carolyn Lockett is playing the iconic role of Cleopatra, who was originally played by the classic Elizabeth Taylor. Carolyn really captured the power and strength that Cleopatra would have possessed. King Kong was first released in 1933, and we've seen many remakes over the years of this epic adventure monster movie. The story is about a film crew who travel to a tropical island for an exotic location shoot and discover a colossal giant gorilla who takes a shine to their female blonde star. The elegant and poised Priscilla Lang was cast to play against the backdrop King Kong in our adaptation of this movie. Priscilla felt very comfortable in front of the camera due to her previous experience in modeling. We think the role and the experience really brought out her inner actress. For the month of July, The Sound of Music was chosen because of its majestic backdrop of the Austrian scenery. The story is of a woman who leaves an Austrian convent to become a governess to the children of a naval officer widower. The Sound of Music is a musical drama film produced and directed by Robert Weiss, which was an adaptation of the 1959 Broadway musical. Maria Brath was a perfect fit for the character of Maria von Trapp, originally played by Julie Andrews. We feel that she really did capture the spirit of Maria.
From a church on a breeze, to laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones on its way.
When we think of August, we think of hot weather, and what better film than Some Like It Hot, a 1959 comedy set in 1929, directed and produced by Billy Wilder, starring Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon. The film is about 2 musicians who dress in drag in order to escape from mafia gangsters. We thought that the challenge would be to find 2 male residents who would be willing to dress up as women. However, there was nothing to worry about. When approached, 2 of our residents accepted the challenge. Creatively playing the part originally portrayed by Tony Curtis is Jerry Stagg, and Charlie Campbell skillfully played the part originally portrayed by Jack Lemmon. Our trio was complete with Alma Harrison as Marilyn Monroe's character. There was a lot of laughter coming from the makeup room, and the photo shoot experience has possibly bonded their friendship for life.
But baby, I like it hot.
September brings us High Noon, a 1952 Western film directed by Fred Zimmerman and starring Gary Cooper. The film tells the story of a town marshal forced to face a gang of killers by himself, a winner of 4 Academy Awards and 4 Golden Globe Awards. It was our very own Robert Woodland that had suggested the Western genre, and specifically High Noon. It was at that point that we realized that Robert would be the perfect selection to play the part of Will Kane, originally portrayed by Gary Cooper. Robert really got into the character. That part was great. Our only concern was how comfortable Robert was holding the gun. We can't really say for sure, but we had speculated that he might have had some practice. And now we listen to everything Robert tells us. The Halloween month was ideal for a suspense thriller. A classic, Rear Window, came to mind. No one of the time could present this genre as well as the prolific director Alfred Hitchcock. The story is based on a man who is a wheelchair-bound photographer spying on his neighbors from his apartment window and becomes convinced one of them has committed murder. Robert Taylor reprised the main character, originally played by James Stewart. As we began to develop the movie genres, we thought that a classic war movie would honor Remembrance Day in honor of our senior veterans. The Immortal Sergeant is a war film directed by John M. Stahl and set in the North African desert during World War II, starring Henry Fonda. The story is a story of a Canadian corporal who reminisces about the woman he has left behind in London and ponders whether she will fall for the charms of his rival in love. Resident Ralph Tordoff donned the corporal uniform and was set to portray the Henry Fonda character. He really evoked the spirit of the theme. You can see it in his eyes. Our calendar wouldn't be complete without a perennial Christmas favorite for the month of December. A Miracle on 34th Street is a 1947 film written and directed by George Seaton. Actors include Edmund Gwenn as Kris Kringle and Natalie Wood as Susan. The part of Santa was played by our own Hans Lichtchi, and Aria Scrofano, who is a granddaughter of a staff member, portrayed the character of Susan.
The idea for our Year at the Movies calendar was created by our Community Relations Manager, Maureen Scortamaglia. There were several people involved in the making of the calendar, from each department manager, community residents and volunteers, professional makeup artists and hairstylists, theater costumes, photographer and videographer, all working behind the scenes. We hope you enjoy viewing the behind-the-scenes video as much as we enjoyed creating it for you. See you at the movies.
They smile when they are low, even with a turkey that you know